So for a big company, that's nothing. They probably don't notice it. But for a small company, and many of the SMEs did just export to the EU because it was easy, for them this is a whole new expense.
I remember when our Catherine McBride, Senior Fellow for the Centre for Brexit Policy, said that in an earlier video. Well, SNP MP Alan Brown picked up on that and wanted to push her a little further on this.
So earlier on, if I paraphrase, you said big companies like Rolls-Royce, the additional overheads, it's relatively small, they can carry the overheads, but there's barriers for small and medium-sized companies trading with the EU. And I was looking at the UK government's own statistics on this, and they say that 99.9% of the business population works or is employed in small and medium-sized enterprises. So by your words, I was saying 99.9% of the business population now have trade barriers in terms of the line of work to the EU?
No, not even vaguely. Only about 10% of UK companies and businesses trade anywhere at all. And that was a statistic that Liam Fox mentioned when he was first made the Trade DIT Minister. I think it was in 2017, and it hasn't changed. In fact, it's gone down slightly. So most companies are small companies.
If it's went down, that's less trade then?
I mean, we have a very big domestic market. Though a lot of people like to talk about trade intensity, that isn't really a big problem for the UK. We are basically a domestic market, and our trade is quite a small part of what we do. This is very different from, say, Germany, which has a higher trade in proportion to its GDP. But countries like America and Japan, their trade intensity is only 25%. So that there's, for people to get worried about trade intensity, they're missing the point. The UK is basically a domestic market. We have some very, very big multinationals that trade out of the UK.
The domestic market, we don't have to worry about exports. We just protectionist.
One of the reasons people like to sell things to the UK is we have a very wealthy consumer base here. We have a very affluent population if you compare it to world populations. Therefore, that's why the German car manufacturers they like selling things to us rather than buying things from us. So it's, if you run a successful business in the UK and you're selling things to the UK, you're doing okay generally. You don't have to export. It'd be nice if more companies did. I'm not anti-export, but I'm just saying that, yes, you're right. The economy itself relies on small and medium-sized enterprises. They employ most people. But when it comes to our trade figures, our trade is the exact opposite. Most of our trade is done by large multinationals.
Move on.
A very eye-opening discussion between Alan Brown and Catherine McBride. I hope you found the conversation just as thought-provoking as I did. For me, not too sure about Catherine McBride, if I'm honest. I get the feeling with her it's all about the big businesses and sod the little ones, if I'm honest. And in the world of UK politics, it's always a complex one, and it filled with surprises and insightful and dodgy revelations. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the intricacies of trade, you might want to watch the interesting video in which Catherine McBride said those early remarks and one or two others as well. So it just leaves me to say, tell me what you think down below and who's right here. And I shall just leave the video here and I shall just bid you farewell and take care, my friends.